Light.
Shama, sir, Sandhi Vichhetri.
Oh,
Shamaina.
Acha.
Shamaina.
Shamainaz. How wonderful.
It is Shamaina, sir. Shamaina.
Yeah, yeah. Naz, of course, is not pride.
No.
No?
Naz is right.
Naz is something subtler. Much subtler. जिस दिल पे नाज था मुझे वो दिल नहीं रहा है ना?
Sir, I am from the Urdu Hindi belt.
Very good. Same here. Allahabad. Well, I don't want to reveal secrets of my life, but
Sir,
also,
I know about you. Connected with me on Facebook.
Oh, I don't go there very often, but yes. G.
So, I'm Dr. Shimanas from RTMM, Allahabad, which is now Prayagraj. Recently, it has organized room. I'm also former visiting faculty, Fargana State University, Fargana, Uzbekistan. So the title of my, a very good known to Hari sir, respected Hari sir, and all the delegate. Mehrba to Bilje Hanum, Memnun also.
Yeah.
So I'm presenting a paper which is based on Turkish novel. I have watched lots of Turkish serials and I like Turkish serial a lot because I hope you all have also watched some Turkish serials because they are very popular in India. And not only they are actor and actress are good looking, but they have very powerful women character. That is what I like, which is now missing in South Asian Digi. So the title of my paper is Transcultural Adaptation, Exploring Halit Ziya Uşaklıgil, Aşk-ı Memnu, and its screen adaptation in Turkiye, Spain, and India. So, this word Aşk is same as Urdu's Ishq, which means love, and Memnu is forbidden. So, the title is Forbidden Love. So, we are living in the digital age, an age where people are not only so much inclined towards reading books and are more and more interested in watching stuff on internet. To make people aware of the literature of their country and other part of the world, it is necessary to adapt literary text into visual content. With the advancement of technology, adaptation of literary text into film or drama is gaining momentum, leading to the popularity of the text. So now literary texts are being adapted into screen presentation around the world, and Turkey is not apart from it. There are many successful screen adaptation of literary texts written by Turkish writer. One such work is Aşk-ı Memnu, Forbidden Love, by Halit Ziya Uşaklıgil, a prominent voice in Turkish literature. G is silent in Turkish. Although he has written many successful creative pieces, his novel Aşk-ı Memnu is one such masterpiece which has been adapted not only in the native country.
Can you hear her?
My voice is loud.
At the back, can you hear her?
Okay.
Yeah.
So my voice is loud. Although he has written many successful creative pieces, his novel Aşk-ı Memnu is one such masterpiece which has been adapted not only in the native country of the novelist, but also in Spain and in India. So in my paper, I will be discussing the adaptation of famous literary classical Turkish text Aşk-ı Memnu, which has been successfully adapted in India, Spain, and in its native country. And what are the transformation which has taken place with the change in time and geographical boundaries. So in the contemporary scenario, adaptation is a process which is highly popular around the globe. Adaptation of a literary work, whether it is a novel or a drama, means to transform it into a visual medium and hence make it available for a larger audience. This is the need of the hour, as in this age of digitalization, when people are going away from reading. So in the contemporary scenario, adaptation is becoming popular day by day, not only in a particular country, but around the globe. With the advancement of technology, adaptation of literary text into film or drama is gaining momentum. And this is also resulting in the popularity of literary texts, which are now by mostly forsaken by the readers. So around the globe, so as people during the time of COVID, people have become more and more inclined toward watches stuff from other countries also. And so if there is an adaptation, so adaptation of literary text into screen requires a procedure which a person involved in adaptation has to follow. This includes acquiring the right to the novel, as one cannot develop a screenplay and then produce a film without prior permission of the owner of the original work. Though we can say that successful adaptation requires much hard work and it is indeed very challenging. The result is that it provides audience a unique way, which is a visual experience to the stories, which has been loved by generation and most importantly, a wider audience to the literary text, which was once confined to specific people or place. So Halit Ziya Uşaklıgil occupies a prominent place in the history of Turkish literature. He belongs to the new literature movement of the Ottoman Empire of Turkey. Uşaklıgil, the Scarlet Letter is considered a significant work of the era, but his novel Aşk-ı Memnu has become very popular because of its adaptation worldwide, especially in South Asia, means India and Pakistan. His first adaptation was by Halit of the same name in the mini-series for TV in 1975. Then another series, Aşk-ı Memnu, was aired from 2008 to 10 by Canal TV. In 2013, Telemundo aired the serial Passion Prohibida, a Spanish adaptation of the novel. It has been adapted into drama series in India as Dil Samjha Zara, aired on Star Plus, and Forbidden Love, aired on Z5. So Halit Ziya Uşaklıgil belonged to the new literature movement of the Ottoman Empire of Turkey. A Turkish author, poet, and playwright, he is credited with founding and contributing to many literary movements and institutions. His timeless romantic novel, Aşk-ı Memnu, was censored by the Ottoman government because of his criticism of Sultan Abdülhamid II. The novel Aşk-ı Memnu, which was being adapted by Halik Rafiq in 1975, was the first adaptation into a TV miniseries. But the most successful adaptation was Aşk-ı Memnu, which was aired in 2008. So there is a big difference between the setting of the novel and the TV adaptation because the novel is very old. It was set in Turkey of 1899, which was a time of Ottoman Empire. The TV series takes place in a modern day Istanbul, which is much more modern, progressive than the traditional Ottoman life. In 2013, Telemundo aired the serial Passion Prohibida, which was set in modern day Miami. I think Italy. Tariq Unarsal, a Turkish poet and playwright, has also made a 3-act play of the novel. The story of Aşk-ı Memnu is about love and betrayal and the psychology behind it. The novelist has depicted intricate relationship existing in a family and how women deal with it. The gender portrayal is very significant as the novelist has shown the inner working of a woman's mind in it. The novel talks about betrayal and how it is developed in an individual and how it affects the entire family. At the same time, the novel has also presented women character in an intricate way, showcasing their inner feeling and desires, which was, I think, prohibited in the olden days in Turkey. The famous classical text of Aşk-ı Memnu has exceeded the geographical boundaries, but there are many transformations which has taken with the change in time and place. As when a literary text is adapted in some other country rather than the country of its origin, then there are certain behaviors of the character, belief and practices are transformed, making it suitable to the audience of the specific nation. Because a different country has different religion, culture, and beliefs. This process further leads to the modification of theme, character, and setting to make the audience translate with the word, which is as per their cultural surrounding, to being linked with some other country. This we have seen when Shakespeare dramas, Omkara, Maqbool, and Hamlet were adapted by Vishal Bhardwaj in a pure Indian way, which we call it Desi styles. So this process of adaptation has brought new insight to the field of adaptation, where cultural polarities, this transcultural process has brought new insight into the field of adaptation adaptation where cultural polarities are abridging and people are becoming informed about the literature of those countries which was unknown to them. Like many of us were not familiar with the Turkish culture, but now with the popularity of Turkish serials, we are very much aware with their food culture, and that they what I like about people of Turkey is that they have the habit of blessing others all the time. Elena Salik.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Elena Salik, है ना? Like this, na. So transcultural adaptation studies lead to cross-cultural communication and international communication, make it an interdisciplinary studies. There are many creative work which have witnessed cross-cultural communication. So the novel so this novel is considered as the most important novel, and Halit Ziya Uşaklıgil is also one of the famous novelists of the Wealth of Art period. And in this novel, the main female lead is the novelist Bhitar, played by a girl who is devastated by the sudden demise of her father. She considered her mother to be the responsible for her father's death because she cheated on him with another man. In a vulnerable state, she finds comfort and solace with her neighbor, Mr. Adnan Ziagil, who is old enough to be her father. So this is something which is psychological. So Mr. Adnan was enamored by her and proposed to her to marry. Knowing that her mother has an eye on Mr. Adnan, she marries him to take revenge on her mother. But soon she realizes that it is not the love she wanted in her life, because there was age difference, much age difference between them. Indulging into love affair with Behlul, the main protagonist of the novel and the son of the friend of Mr. Adnan, his husband, being brought up by him after his parents' death. They both connive to have an affair, deceiving everyone in the family. Behlul, who is also a grey character or a bad boy, brat, has the character of playboy, was once involved with her elder sister, Peter. Though showing immense love towards her, he later deceived her, agreed to marry Mr. Adnan's teenage daughter, Nihal Ziya, who has crushed on him for many years. Dwelling into the dynamic between all the characters, we find complicated relationship existing within a family, leading to secrets, treachery, and ultimately suicide. The female protagonist of the novel and even the drama in the end commits suicide because she was not able to accept Behlul's treachery and how because Behlul agreed to marry Mr. Adnan's daughter. So in the novel, we also see the unrequited love of Miss Denise D. Cotten, which was called by Mademoiselle, a French woman living with Mr. Adnan family, towards Mr. Adnan and Nihal, the teenager who falls for the charms of Behlul. And then there is another unrequited love of Beshik Elsie, the driver of the house, who secretly loves Nihal. So there are lots of complexity in these relationships, resulting in the tragedy at the end of the novel. The tragedy in the novel occurs due to the illicit affair of Bhitar and Behlul. It was Behlul who went after her, being mesmerized by her beauty, though he tried to control his feeling in the beginning as a guilt towards his uncle, but later he went head over heel for her. At first, Bhitar rejected him as she held a grudge against him for ditching her own sister-in-law, but living together as a family in Ziagil mentioned and encountering each other every day. They fall for each other, which later leads to the catastrophe, disintegrating the family. So main plot in this story, whether it is novel or drama, is the love of Bhitar and Behlul, which is considered as forbidden love because Behlul was the son. Bhitar was married to Mr. Adnan and Behlul was brought up by him as a son. Though he was the son of his friend who died in an accident. Through this story, Uşaklıgil has tried to convey a message to the reader that illicit affair can affect a family. How illicit affair affects a family? In the story, we see that Nihal Ziagil too had developed a feeling for Behlul, Mr. Adnan's daughter. And when Mr. Adnan asked Behlul, he was not able to say no as a gratitude for bringing him up by him. Moreover, he was also conscious of his future, which was secured with Nihal, not Behtar. So he turned away from her. At this juncture of life, Behtar felt completely devastated because she wanted to be with Behlul, as she loved him with all her might. Having her dream shattered by the betrayal of a lover, she committed suicide and their love affair were disclosed in the family. Both Mr. Ziagil and Nihal were shocked by this revelation of their forbidden love. Her marriage was called off, and Behlul was left to repent for being a coward because he was not able to raise his voice. He was the one who was after Beater, and then he was not able to take stand. Though we see Behtar as a tragic figure with her downfall, there are other characters who are also miserable, like Nihal, Miss Denise D. Kofton, and Bashir L.C. Nihal was so shocked to hear about Behtar and Behlul that she went into trauma because she loved him since her teenage. Miss Denise D. Kofton concealed her feeling
Fine, go ahead.
for Mr. Annan and is left alone, and Bashir LC died of lung cancer. This driver was the first to find out the love affair of Beater and Behlul. All these characters and the other character in the novel and drama series need to be scrutinized in terms of their active role in many of in this novel. A tragedy, how it becomes a tragedy. It is, and this is the most successful adaptation. But before this, Halit Rafiq also adapted it into mini series for in 1975. So, if we compare the novel and drama series of 2008, we find the novel was set in the 19th century, which was an era of Ottoman Empire. So it was very traditional, the ladies wearing traditional clothes, and how I think at that time Turkey was completely a Muslim culture. Nah, but currently we see very secular. Turkey is a very secular culture. Turkey has, and now they are very progressive with the progressive outlook and even clothes and everything, progressive and liberal. So we find the setting, social norm and custom of an era. The drama series, which was telecasted in 2008 by Kanal TV in Turkey, relocate the setting to modern day Istanbul. Istanbul is a city which is a synthesis of both modern and ancient tradition. So, exposing the modernity and Western culture, which the city has embraced as a means to be accepted by the Western audience or a way for targeting a wider audience. In terms of narrative style and depth, the novel exhibits a deeper introspecting and psychologically driven narrative, giving deep insight into characters' inner working of mind, leading to their action resulting in catastrophe. This is done by the novelist by giving detailed description and also by the soliloquies. There are lots of soliloquies also in this drama. If anybody has watched Aşk-ı Memnu, you must have seen that. So
Has anyone watched it?
it has been adapted in Urdu.
Well, we have a lot of homework to do. Could you please finish?
Okay, sir. So the novel has witnessed, sir, just I'll talk about Spanish one and a little bit about the Indian.
How many minutes?
Sir, tell me, I'll do it.
1.5.
Okay. So the novel has witnessed transcultural adaptation to Spanish by Telemundo into serial Passion Prohibida, which was set in Miami. Here the story is means set in Miami, and in this the female protagonist name is Minaka. She is also in the same vulnerable state because it is means everything is same, but the geographical, because of the change in geographical setting, and even the culture is different because in the Turkey, in the novel we find traditional Muslim culture, but in the television we find progressive Muslim, and in this we find a Christian culture. And when it comes to the Hindi, Spanish is also Spanish one Passion Prohibida is also very popular. But the Indian one is not very popular. It is Dil Samhal Ja Zara, and because it has a little bit a different story track, and it is not at same. And the most important thing is the character which the Turkish in the Turkey TV serial have taken they are very not only famous, very powerful actor and actress. Kivan Katli took the most handsome actor and Beret Saaz, the one who was in Fatma Gul. I hope you must have watched Fatma Gul. It is about tragic story of a girl who was raped, gang raped. And it is also very, it was telecasted in India. So just in the end, so I've taken this novel, which has been adapted into twice into Turkey, and then it went into Spain, and it has also been adapted into India. But it before that, it has with English subtitle. Has been released in English subtitle in India, and with Urdu adaptation. With Urdu language by Pakistani TV. So, and it has been famous. I hope you must watch this because you'll find very intense passion and emotion in this. So, thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
patiently listening.
Thank you. I don't think there's anyone in the audience who does not want intense passion and emotion. So now you know what to do. I also found it fascinating. You know, not only Urdu, but also Hindi have a lot of elements of Arabic and Persian, but also Turkish. I went to a restaurant. At the end, I asked for a bill. He said, Hisab.
Hisab. P.
So Hisab, we use differently. But the bill at the end of a meal is Hisab. And we know that sense as well. What fascinated me about your paper right at the beginning was that Ashk in Turkish language, Turkiye, is Ishq here. So obviously they are more advanced than we are. We begin with love and we end. Ashk means Asu. So we end in Ashk. All Ishq ends in Ashk. Despite the many subplots that you have narrated, is the fate of love. If love is successful, if love is happy, then we are not living life according to fiction. In fiction, it must end tragically. It must end sadly. I really marveled at how you have mastered all the lanes and by-lanes of the plot of this novel.
And love for Turkey serial.
But have you read the novel too?
No, sir, I have not read the novel. I have read lots of things related to research papers.
So this is the next stage of human evolution, the human adaptation. That we have seen the serial, but we have not read the novel.
Sir, it is not available in English.
Yeah. I know. What can you do? How much Turkish can you learn? All right. Sunil, ab kiska paper hai? Because the next two papers, they're waiting there.
Sir, one thing I want to add just, actually there are lots of words similar in Turkish and Urdu, because Urdu is a synthesis of Hindi, Punjabi, Arabic, Persian and Turkish. So there are lots of words like bazaar, jannat, jahannam, dost, insan and hisab. Lots and lots of Turkish words which are similar used in Urdu also. And there are very, some are similar also, like we say bagiche, they say bakche. No, only the grammar is different.
So please travel Turkey and you will find out more words. Thank you very much. Yeah, the next people. Yeah, it's Maria Chan.
Yes, Maria Chan.
Yeah, Maria Chan, is that you?
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Can I share screen?
Hello.
Can I share screen?
Yeah, we can hear you.
But you have to allow me to share screen first.
You have to allow the share screen.
देखिए क्या करना?
I'm not allowed.
उसके बाद एक और पेपर है। Yes, sir. नहीं तो ये बताइए कैसे होगा फिर? हाँ, but you know, क्या हुआ आगे?
Ma'am, try now.
Hello, would you like to try now?
Yes.
Fine. Yeah. Do begin.
I will. I'm trying. Can you give me a minute?
Yeah.
Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And hello everyone. Thank you for having me. And I'll be talking about the transformation of the Little Mermaid from Hans Christian Andersen's original 1837 fairy tale to Disney's 1989 animated film. My presentation is called From Sacrifice to Self-Empowerment. What I want to explore is how serious moral tale rooted in 19th century Christian values are reimagined as a story of love, individualism, and fulfillment for a modern family audience. We'll look at the changes in plot, character, tone, and ideology, and consider what these shifts reveal about storytelling priorities and cultural values in different contexts. So my central argument is Disney reshapes Andersen's tale of sacrifice into a narrative of self-empowerment, reflecting a cultural movement from spiritual transcendence to personal fulfillment. I think I'm going to skip these questions because I may be running out of time later. So if I have time later, I'll come back to these questions. But let's begin with the shift in genre, because this is where the differences come into focus most clearly. Andersen's The Little Mermaid is a literary fairy tale, quiet, introspective, and morally complex. The Little Mermaid is described as silent and thoughtful many times in the story. If I remember correctly, it's 3 times that this is described as, the Little Mermaid is described as silent and thoughtful. And the tale is written in lyrical prose, rich with inner conflict, spiritual yearning, and Christian symbolism. Disney's The Little Mermaid, by contrast, is an animated musical for a global family audience. It emphasizes color, rhythm, humor, and spectacle. Songs bring the characters to life and give them emotional depth, while animal sidekicks like the pictures here, Sebastian, Flounder, and Scuttle provide warmth and comic relief. Another important shift is characterization. Andersen's mermaid has depth and longing, but she remains largely allegorical, that is, without a name. Her role seems to embody themes of sacrifice and spiritual yearning. In Disney's version, the Little Mermaid becomes Ariel, a character suited to a musical genre. She collects human artifacts, sings of her desires, and actively pursues her goals. This transformation from seemingly allegory to protagonist helps move the story from meditative prose into bustling, character-driven spectacle. This change makes the protagonist more relatable and turns the story towards empowerment. In short, Andersen gives us a meditative moral tale, while Disney offers a musical narrative full of energy and spectacle. This genre shift shapes the entire adaptation. And once the genre shifts, the plot itself inevitably takes on a new direction. In Andersen's version, the story is a bit sad. The mermaid saves a prince, falls in love, and gives up everything to become human. She gives up her voice, her family, her life under the sea. But the cost is immense. On land, she walks in constant pain. Each step feels like walking on knives, and in the end, the prince marries another girl. The mermaid's love is unreturned. But in fact, she can save herself towards the end. Towards the end, she's given a knife and told she can save herself by killing the prince. However, she refuses. Instead, she sacrifices herself and dissolves into sea foam. Then Anderson offers a final twist. The mermaid becomes a daughter of the air, a spirit who can earn a soul through 300 years of good deeds. It's not exactly a happy ending, but rather a spiritual redemption. Disney completely rewrites this arc. Ariel gives up her voice, but wins the prince. With the help of her friends and her father, she defeats Ursula, regains her voice, and is transformed into a human. The story ends in marriage, joy, and personal fulfillment. This is a shift not just in outcome, but in ideological framework. Anderson's tale ends in sacrifice and transcendence. Disney's ends in empowerment and reward. Now, to see how radical this change is, let's turn to the tone and moral landscape, the very atmosphere of the two stories. Anderson's tone is melancholic, reflective, and morally complex. The story is filled of Christian ideas of suffering, virtue, and salvation. Mermaids live for 300 years, but they have no soul. When they die, they dissolve into sea foam. Humans, by contrast, have eternal souls. The Little Mermaid longs for a soul. So the story is not just about romantic love. The Little Mermaid is after spiritual mortality too. She wants to be with the prince, and she wants to have a son too. So it's two things that she wants. After her transformation, she is in fact trying to transcend her nature. If she is successful, she wants to transform her nature from being a mermaid to having a soul like a human being. So her journey is about pain, longing, and moral purity. Anderson also paints a vivid contrast between the two worlds. The underwater realm is beautiful, full of shimmering fish, coral gardens, and pearl-covered palaces, but it lacks scent. As the Little Mermaid's grandmother tells her, flowers up on the land had a fragrance. At the bottom of the sea, they had none. This absence becomes symbolic. The sea is visually rich, but spiritually lacking. The human world, by contrast, offers light, fragrance, air, and also the possibility of eternal life. Disney reverses this hierarchy. The underwater world is joyful and communal, expressed most clearly in the song Under the Sea, where rhythm, dance, and color create a sense of abundance and celebration. Ariel's world feels relational. Her father worries about her safety, Sebastian fusses over her choices, and Flounder encourages her curiosity. Instead of silence and isolation, Disney gives us a loving community filled with music and emotion. The human world, meanwhile, is quieter in the Disney's version, but the human world is equally friendly. Prince Eric is kind, generous, and open-minded, characterized not by wealth or power, but by his search for authentic love. Ariel is drawn to this world not for spiritual redemption, but because this world represents independence, adventure, and romance. She just wants to be here in the human world with Eric. In Anderson, the journey is spiritual. The mermaid seeks a soul through suffering. In Disney, the journey is emotional and personal. Ariel seeks freedom, identity, and fulfillment. The moral framework shifts from Christian sacrifice to modern individualism and optimism. And these tonal differences are embodied most clearly in the central character herself. In Anderson's tale, the mermaid has an identity rooted in longing and sacrifice, but she is never named. She is called the Little Mermaid just before she is old enough to go up to see the human world. And before that, she is just one of the sea princesses. The Little Mermaid is more like an allegory than an individual, representing purity, suffering, and the desire for a soul. Her inner life is profound, yet she is not presented as a distinct personality the reader can easily identify with. Disney transforms this figure into Ariel, a named heroine with special traits, relationships, and agency. She speaks, sings, and dreams. She rebels, she collects treasures, and stakes her future on bold choices. Even when silenced, her gestures and expressions keep her individuality vivid. This is more than narrative technique. It reflects a cultural shift from portraying the mermaid as a universal symbol of spiritual striving to celebrating her as an empowered individual who discovers identity through self-expression and love. Anderson's heroine loses herself in pursuit of spirituality. Ariel finds herself through the pursuit of freedom and fulfillment. I wonder how much time I have left. And I guess
You have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, so maybe I'll skip
No,
this
no,
part
no.
about the
I'll be
sea.
generous. You have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll try to speak more quickly
Right.
about the sea witch. And in Anderson's version, the sea witch is not a villain. She is a dark, mysterious figure, but she is honest. She tells the mermaid, "You will suffer great pain and you will never be able to return." So she lays out the cost of transformation clearly. The mermaid must give up her voice, endure constant pain, and risk life. But here, the sea witch doesn't interfere in the story beyond this point. She is more a neutral agent of fate, not an antagonist. Disney's radically reimagines this character, Ursula. And Ursula is a full-blown villain with a dramatic visual design, a powerful song, poor unfortunate souls, and a clear motive, revenge and domination. She tricks Ariel, breaks the deal, transforms herself into Vanessa to steal the prince, and later battles to seize Triton's power. So this shift reflects Disney's preference for moral clarity over ambiguity. In Anderson's world, no one is purely evil, not the witch, not any other character. In Disney's version, Ursula must be defeated for the story to resolve. And if Ursula dramatizes the forces against Ariel, then the mermaid's own voice dramatizes the forces within her. In both versions, the mermaid gives up her voice, but the meaning of that silence changes dramatically. In Anderson, the voice is gone forever. The mermaid cannot speak, sing, or express herself. Her suffering is silent, her love is invisible, her fate is sealed. In Disney, Ariel loses her voice temporarily, But long before that happens, she sings the song Part of Your World, which tells us everything about who she is. Music becomes a form of agency. Ariel's voice is not just sound, it's identity. So in Anderson, silence is virtue. In Disney, voice is power. This shift reflects not just a new medium, but new values. And these values come into even clearer view when we think about agency and choice. In Anderson's tale, the Little Mermaid acts once when she visits the sea witch, but after that she waits in silence, enduring pain and hoping for love. She does not tell the prince the truth, and she quietly accepts her fate when he chooses another girl. Her final refusal to kill him is an act of sacrifice, but also of surrender. Disney's Ariel is far more active. She makes bold decisions, challenges limits, and ultimately plays a role in defeating Ursula. Her journey is marked not by silent endurance, but by decisive action that changes her destiny. The contrast is striking. Anderson's mermaid embodies patience and self-sacrifice, while Ariel represents choice and determination. What was once a story of submission becomes a narrative of empowerment. And this new sense of empowerment reshapes the way both stories reach their conclusion. In Anderson's version, the mermaid loses everything. Her love is unreturned. She is given the chance to save herself by killing the prince, but she refuses. Instead, she dissolves into sea foam. But because of her selflessness, she becomes a daughter of the air, a spirit who can earn a soul. This is not exactly a happy ending, but it is spiritually redemptive. In Disney's version, Ariel defeats Ursula, regains her voice, and marries the prince. Her father gives his blessing, and she becomes human. And the message in the Disney's version is clear. Follow your heart and you will be rewarded. So Anderson's ending emphasizes sacrifice and virtue. Disney's ending celebrates love, choice, and transformation. So what do we make of this transformation? And at the start, in fact, I asked what happens when a spiritual literary fairy tale is reimagined as a global family musical. And here we have seen that Anderson's tale of sacrifice and transcendence becomes the Disney story of choice and fulfillment. And can we speak of fidelity once plot, tone, character are rewritten? And I think I will say yes, though not literally. Disney is faithful not to Anderson's Christian ending, but to the emotional core of longing that drives both versions. What Disney does is to reinterpret that longing, not as a quest for salvation, but as a search for freedom and personal realization. So adaptation here is not imitation, but cultural dialogue. Anderson's moral meditation transformed into a musical of individual fulfillment. From soul to self, from silence to song, from sacrifice to self-empowerment. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you. And these are the references.
Maria.
Yes?
Hello, Maria. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you so
For
much.
several reasons. One is that you brought sophistication as well as clarity to your presentation. And your slides in 3 parts, usually the original, the adapted version by Disney, and then your own inferences in 3 different lines and 3 different sections were the model of lucidity and clarity. I really enjoyed that. I think everyone gained from that. because the paper your paper was sophisticated. Melancholy, passivity, suffering turned into agency, empowerment, happy ending. At the same time, your moral discrimination was very firm. And it sounded even firmer for the fact that you disguised it as neutrality and not judgment. I really enjoyed this part immensely. You made empowerment and agency sound like bad words. I really enjoyed that. I mean, I cannot believe that with your understanding, you would favor Disney over Anderson, and you don't. But you maintained the stance of academic scholarly neutrality throughout. That's a great achievement. Congratulations, Maria. Very
Thank
well
you.
done indeed.
Thank you.
Now, I think, do you want to ask questions or do you want lunch? That's the stark choice before us. So please look at these people very carefully so that you would recognize them at lunch and make them miserable at lunch. Go and,
we can have
let
a
them
group
not eat at lunch, interrupt them. Why do I say that? Why don't I allow even a token question or two? Because boss is here.
Sir, can we have a photo?
But if you wish to have any further ruling, please.
No, that's perfectly fine. And I must thank all the speakers and thank you, Maria, for joining us. I hope in our future conferences also you will join us. And please stay connected. I think one of your colleagues is here with us. Huh? There is somebody from your part of the world. You are from. Yeah, you is here. You know her? No. So we do
Yes,
have
I'm
somebody.
following you from the Czech Republic and be happy to join you after your lunch session.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you very much. So
Thank
let's wind up now and we meet after lunch in 1 hour's time. 2 o'clock we'll be here. Thank you. Bye bye. See you again.
Sir, I wanted that you should ask some questions related with my.
है ना? बहुत बढ़िया सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ.
पूछिए.
लेकिन अब